Hi, it's Negin Gaderi from Koorosh Academy. In this video, we are going to talk about the variety of brands in producing trial motorcycle, whether by the companies that produce them or their structures. So you will know trial bikes better and you can choose them depending on your usage. We have 8 brands or companies that are producing trial motorcycle. There were brands that produced trial motorcycle before, but they are not producing right now, and we are not counting them. We are just count the brand that has a team, has a rider, and they are taking part in the World Championship. So let's name the brand that right now are producing team and they have riders. There is ΣＨARE, there is Scorpio, Beta, GasGas, TRS, Vertigo, Honda Montesa, and Electric Motion. Yes, 8 brand. They were the 8 brand that we will cover in this video. Each of them produce a special kind of trial motorcycle, but they have some similarity and differences. In the engine, you can categorize all of them in 3 types. They have 2-stroke, 4-stroke, and electric motorcycles. But which one are producing 2-stroke motorcycle? Let's name them again. ΣHARE, Scorpio, Beta, GasGas, TRS, and Vertigo. These brands are producing 2-stroke motorcycle. Honda Montesa is the only 4-stroke motorcycle. When I said 4-stroke, I mean ΣHARE also used to produce them, but right now it stopped producing 4-stroke. And Beta Motorcycling, they are, I checked that they are continuing to have the 4-stroke motorcycles, but I think it's just because of completing the range of bikes, because it's not taking part in the World Championship. I mean, Beta take part, but with the 2-stroke motorcycle, not with 4-stroke. Usually it's not so common. And there are other brand in electric bike. It's Electric Motion that I will explain, but also we have asset bikes. But why I didn't feel asset in the 8 brand? Because asset is for children. They have 2.5, 16, 20, and 24 size, and it's just for kids. So we are not counting them. If we want to say for adult, it will be just Electric Motion. And recently I saw the pictures and some information about Yamaha, which is producing one electric motorcycle, trial motorcycle for adult. That I find it so interesting, but unfortunately there is not much information about that. So maybe in next month, or I don't know when they produce information, maybe we maybe we will make a video about that. But right now I don't have anything to tell you. So let's go back about the other brands. You may wonder what is the differences between 2-stroke, 4-stroke, and electric bike. Or you may wonder which one is better for you, which one is more suited, and which one you should buy. About electric motorcycle, they are completely different type. But between 2-stroke and 4-stroke, I personally, or many of the riders or people who are kind of active in this field, we cannot say which one is better, which one is not, or this is good or this is bad. I think if a brand is not good, it will kind of stop from being producers, or it will be a stop from taking part in the World Championships, because it will lose competitive features. So if we have a brand in the World Championship, it's good enough to be there. And about which brand is good, I should also say each brand has some negative point and positive point, and it's kind of balance between all. But we will take a look on all the brands and the differences between 2-stroke and 4-stroke. But about electric bike, I think the future of the motorcycle, like so many other fields, will be tend to the electric, because this field is always progressing and being more similar to the real motorcycles that works with fuel, and so I think we will have them more every day. I need to explain the basic of 2-stroke and 4-stroke, because we want to talk about them. But I know maybe so many of you know this process, or maybe even you can find the more complete explanation in the Google, but because we want this video to be more complete, I will go around this topic quickly. In two-stroke, piston is responsible for entrance of benzene and exit the gas. It's work like piston comes down and the benzene enter. Piston comes down and the gas will be exit. In four-stroke motorcycle, this process will happen in the famous 4 steps. The valves are responsible for the entrance of benzene and exit of the gas. It will happen in the steps of intake, compression, combustion, and exhaust. Four-stroke will work in this cycle, and this structure will have some advantages and disadvantages. I mean, like two-stroke, all of them is kind of having a downside and a good side. So the advantages of two-stroke will be the weight, because two-stroke is much lighter than four-stroke, and this is really important in trial motorcycling. Secondly will be the price. Usually two-stroke motorcycle are cheaper than four-stroke motorcycle. I think maybe because of the part, because two-stroke also have less part in compared with four-stroke. And the third, I think, will be the initial acceleration of speed. In two-stroke it's so much less. I mean, it will be better because the speed will accelerate sooner. These were some of the reasons that makes two-stroke more common in the races, because it's lighter, the faster initial acceleration, and the cheaper price also, it's important. And the last but not least, it's easier service and fixing that two-stroke has in comparison with the four-stroke. According to the fewer part, a two-stroke usually repair easier. For example, if you need a mechanic to fix these two motorcycles, usually the level of mechanic who need to fix for a two-stroke motorcycle can be much less in compared with four-stroke and the things that they need to fix a four-stroke motorcycle. This was the advantages of two-stroke motorcycle, but let's talk about the four-stroke motorcycle. In comparison with two-stroke motorcycle, first of all, and so important one, is you don't need mixed oil with benzene anymore. In four-stroke motorcycle, you can go to the near gas station and directly insert the nozzle into the tank and refill easily. But in two-stroke motorcycle, you should always take oil with yourself in the ride, or you should mix oil and benzene and take with yourself again to ride. And you cannot borrow benzene from anyone if you need that, because it always need oil. And secondly will be, in two-stroke motorcycle, the sound of engine is higher. In four-stroke, you have, I think, a smoother and better sound in engine. It will not be annoying for anyone. And one of the reasons that fun rider like the four-stroke is the less sound, easier refueling, and also it has less pollution for the environment, which is also so important. And the other thing will be the lifetime in four-stroke motorcycle. The lifetime is much more. I mean, if you check the water, if you check the oil, if you check few steps that you should check in any bike, any car, anything, if you just check the simple thing, it will have a really longer lifetime in compared with two-stroke. And when I say longer lifetime, usually I talk about cylinder, because about engine, they both have a really nice material and it's not kind of comparable because they are usually the same. But in piston and cylinder, usually for two-stroke motorcycle, if you need to change it every 3 months, 6 months, I don't know, depend of the usage. In four-stroke motorcycle, the same person maybe will change this a bit longer, and this is kind of better for people. Now we mostly know the differences between two-stroke and four-stroke motorcycle, and we can kind of decide which one will be better for us. Do we want a motorcycle with easier refueling, less sound, less pollution, and longer lifetime, or do we want a lighter motorcycle, faster reaction, to be able to do our techniques easier? But about the weight that I told you, in two-stroke motorcycle, the weight is usually something between 64 and 65 kilogram, while in four-stroke motorcycle, for example Honda Montesa, it's something around 72 kilogram and without benzene. And this is kind of game changer in choosing them, because although they have so many advantages in four-stroke, but it's much heavier. Now enough of two-stroke and four-stroke, let's jump to electric motorcycle. There is only electric motion right now in the trial electric races, so let's talk about it. Weight is 75 kg, battery capacity usually cover a 43 km depending on your ride and type of route, and battery is 75 volt per ampere, and it's interesting that battery is about 10 kg, which is not really good because it makes this motorcycle the heaviest motorcycle in the market. And I don't know, maybe science is not helping us in this situation about this topic, or maybe it's not efficient to use a better battery, but I'm sure it will progress day by day. And this motorcycle take advantages of 15 amps charger, and the charger will charge in 3 hours and 20 minutes for a 43 km that we talked about. The life cycle of the battery is 1,000 times rechargeable. It's you can also buy a different charger. It's 25 ampere, and it will change the charging time from 3 hours and 20 minutes to 2 hours and 50 minutes. I think it's worth it because sometimes maybe you're in a situation that just want to charge it and go. So time is always important for us. I think it's worth it. If I wanted to buy this, I would definitely buy the extra charger. And the last point about the electric bike that I should tell you is the electric bikes usually didn't have gear. Used to they didn't have any gear, but right now it has gear, which is so important in riding trial and transferring power. But talking about gear, I forgot to tell you, in two-stroke and four-stroke, usually this bikes has 5 or 6 gear depending on the brand. And about electric motorcycle with gear, it will be more similar to the real motorcycles. I mean the refuelable motorcycle, and I'm sure it will be similar day by day. In buying an electric motorcycle, there were only one option that we talked about. It was just electric motion. In choosing four-stroke motorcycle, it was just Honda Montesa, and we talk about it, and we will talk about it also later. But in case of choosing two-stroke, there is 6 brands. Firstly, I want to talk about gas motorcycle. There are few riders who didn't ride gas motorcycle, not in this generation, because this generation usually start with OSET motorcycles, OSET bikes, and then they just choose another teams. Maybe they didn't ride gas. But in previous generation, which are participating in the world championships right now, they are really few riders who didn't experience gas because it was the most famous and most common motorcycle in the world. Gas usually were produced in Spain, but they were bankrupt, and KTM factory bought them. And the most common and handy motorcycle was gas, and they were produced in Spain, but right now after KTM buy that, I don't know if they will make any change on gas or what will happen. Next motorcycle we will talk about is SHARE and SUBSCRIBE. Why did I tell them together? Because they are actually one big family together. They are not separated from each other. SHARE is famous for its blue color, and SUBSCRIBE is famous for its orange color. The gas we have talked about also, it's famous for the red color. So you can tell the bikes from the color also. SHARE motorcycle were just made in Spain, but after they grow the company and they add some other motorcycle, and now just the trial are in Spain, and the other product, Enduro motorcycles included, they are producing in France. The Spanish factory in Barcelona, which was founded in 1998, is specialized in trial category, and the French was established in 2003, specialized in the other product, as I told you. And we have also electric motion from France. You should maybe say we have also exterior races in France. Yes, I should tell you that after Spain and the Great Britain, there is France that start to invest more on the trial motorcycling, and I think we should wait for the stunning result of their next generations in the races. So the next motorcycle is TRS. I should say the founder of this brand is Jordi Torres. He is one of the well-known champion of trial motorcycling, and he is really one of the unforgettable champions from Spain. He is a founder of TRS, and he's also founder of the new trial that is so popular in the world. And I think that when it speaks from TRS, it's so similar to gas motorcycle. I mean, the angle of suspension to the chassis and so many detail is kind of so similar to the gas motorcycle. This was about TRS motorcycle. Now let's talk about Vertigo, or maybe let's talk about Beta. Beta is also the oldest trial motorcycle in the world. They were producing trial motorcycle, I mean, from the year 1905 in Italy. And there are really easy point for distinguish this Beta motorcycle. Even if someone hide the tank, even if there is no sticker, you can also again distinguish that this is a Beta motorcycle with the kickstart. Usually kickstart is on the right, but in Beta motorcycle kickstart is on the left side. So whenever you see a left side kickstart, it's definitely a Beta motorcycle. And Beta motorcycles history will back to Bianchi company from Italy, which made bicycle. I think they are still producing bicycle. The last brand that we will talk about is Vertigo motorcycle. Vertigo is really special and different in one case. Vertigo is the only two-stroke trial motorcycle which has injector. For trial, it's so awesome to have this, because when you move your bike, usually you need to adjust it again. But when you have injector on your bike, it don't need to set and adjust it again. It will has a map. If I want to say shortly, it has a map, and by the air pressure and different factor, it will set it to have the maximum feedback from the oil that is in your tank. So the biggest difference between Vertigo and other brands is the injection. Now let's back to Honda Montesa again. Honda Montesa started from Montesa in Spain, but after a while Montesa goes bankrupt. But because of the good name and famous name that Montesa has, Honda comes and start to cooperate and producing motorcycles together. But again, after a while, they were stopping producing Honda Montesa because of the wrong mindset that people at that time had. They think maybe it's not so competitive, maybe it's heavier, maybe it's so expensive, or I don't know what. But in this middle, Tony Wu, undisputed world champion in trial motorcycling, comes and change all the mindset. It's right that it's maybe expensive, it's maybe heavier, but the world champion for 15 years continuously, even now that I'm taking this video, he is using this brand, he is using Honda Montesa. Of course his bike is a bit different with normal bikes, but the brand is Honda Montesa, and it changed all the theories and mindset. I mean, he changed in a way that not only Honda Montesa didn't went bankrupt, but also it's producing a range of motorcycles right now, not just one kind of motorcycle. And so many people every day are seeing the nice videos of Tony Wu with the really beautiful ride, and they just like to have the same brand that the world champion has. So maybe even so many people just having this brand and buying this brand just with the love of the world champion. But whatever it is, it was a really game changer for this brand, and it's really survived and changed everything. It's kind of interesting about this brand. It's luxury, it's lovely, it's heavier, but it's so likable. So if you're interested about the history of brands, write down on a comment below. If you find it interesting, we can talk more about the history of each of these brands separated in separate video, or maybe we can compare them together, SHARE or gas, TRS or Vertigo or something like that. And we just need to achieve to a minimum level. So if you like, comment it below, and if it achieves to a minimum level, we can do it. At the end, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't liked the video, please like it and share it with your friends. It will really motivate us to make a better video with high quality, more quality. And sorry for my speaking. I try my best, but I'm not a native speaker, so I hope it doesn't bother you. Thank you for seeing, and see you in the next one.